What if the space between what happens to you and how you react is the single most powerful place in the universe? What if you could learn to stand in that space, calm and in control, and consciously choose who you want to be? This is not a superpower. It is the ancient art of responding, not reacting. Master the art of responding, not reacting. Stoicism, compiled and published by Stoic Power. Lesson 1. Awareness of impulsive reactions. Imagine you are a puppet, and your strings are being pulled by every event in the world around you. Someone cuts you off in traffic, and your anger string is pulled, causing you to jerk into a fit of rage. Your boss sends a critical email, and your anxiety string is pulled, making you dance with fear. A plan gets canceled, and your frustration string is pulled, making you slump in disappointment. For many of us, this is not a metaphor. It is our daily reality. We are in a state of constant inner conflict, where we feel that we are not the masters of our own actions, but are instead helpless puppets, jerked around by the unpredictable hands of circumstance. The problem with this state of impulsive reaction is that it is the very definition of a life without freedom or power. When your actions are just automatic, unthinking reflexes to external stimuli, you have abdicated your greatest human gift, the power to choose. This is a common and painful challenge that people face in the context of emotional mastery and self-discipline. This reactive state leads to a life of constant regret, damaged relationships, and a profound sense of being out of control. You become a predictable machine, an easily manipulated entity whose buttons can be pushed by anyone at any time, leaving you feeling weak, exhausted, and ashamed of your own lack of self-command. The transformative solution is the first and most critical step on the Stoic path to self-mastery. You must become aware that you are the puppet. It is the practice of cultivating a profound, non-judgmental awareness of your own impulsive reactions, of learning to see the strings as they are being pulled. The core idea is that awareness must always precede control. The Stoics were masters of self-awareness. They understood that you cannot begin to change a habit until you can first see it with perfect objective clarity. The goal of this first lesson is not to cut the strings, but simply to see them. By learning to observe your own impulsive reactions as they happen, you create the first crucial flicker of separation between you, the conscious observer, and the automatic, puppet-like reaction. This ancient wisdom feels alive because it is the beginning of all true self-knowledge, the first step in taking back the controls of your own life. To begin this practice of awareness, you must become a student of your own reflexes. The first actionable step is to choose your one string. Identify one recurring, impulsive reaction that causes problems in your life. Is it anger? Is it anxiety? Is it procrastination? Choose just one to focus on for the next week. The second step is to create a reaction journal. Every time you find yourself being pulled by your chosen string, you must take a moment later in the day to write down what happened. Describe the trigger, the feeling, and the automatic impulsive action you took. The third step is to do this with the detached curiosity of a scientist, not the harsh judgment of a critic. Your only job is to gather data and observe the mechanism. The benefits of applying these actions are a profound and often startling shift in your perception of yourself. You will stop seeing your reactions as who you are and start seeing them as what you do. This separation is the beginning of all freedom. You will begin to see the patterns, the predictable mechanics of your own impulses, and this knowledge is the very foundation upon which true, lasting change is built. This is a profound transformation you will experience in your life. Your call to action is to choose your one string and begin your journal today. Your mission is not to stop the reaction, but simply to catch it and document it after the fact. Become the scientist of your own puppet show. This is the first essential step in the journey of becoming the puppet master. Once you have become aware of your own impulsive reactions, you are ready to learn the first and most powerful technique for creating the space to choose a different path. The next lesson will teach you the profound power that is found in a single, deliberate moment of stillness. If you are ready to see your own strengths, please like this video. And as a final reader hook, remember to subscribe to the Stoic Power channel for more foundational wisdom. Lesson 2. Power in choosing stillness. Imagine a deep, clear pool of water. A stone, a stimulus from the world, is tossed into it. The immediate result is a chaotic splash and a flurry of agitated ripples. This is the impulsive reaction. But if you watch closely, you will see that after the initial splash, the water does something remarkable. It chooses stillness. The ripples slowly dissipate, the surface calms, and the water returns to its natural state of perfect, reflective clarity, now containing the stone without being defined by it. This is the second law of self-mastery, the power in choosing stillness. For many of us, when a stone is tossed into our minds, we are in a state of inner conflict where we become the splash. We identify with the chaos, the agitation, the initial turbulent reaction. We believe that this turmoil is the only possible response to the stimulus, and we remain in a state of chaotic agitation long after the stone has settled. The problem with becoming the splash is that it makes a wise and powerful response impossible. A mind that is in a state of chaotic turmoil cannot see clearly, cannot think rationally, and cannot act with purpose. You are simply reacting to your own inner disturbance, not to the reality of the situation. This is a common and painful challenge that people face in the context of emotional mastery. This state of prolonged inner chaos drains your energy, clouds your judgment, and leads to poor decisions and regrettable actions. The transformative solution is to embrace the wisdom of the deep pool. It is the Stoic habit of deliberately and consciously choosing stillness in the moments after the initial splash of an emotional reaction. It is the art of letting the ripples of your own mind settle so that you can respond to the situation from a place of clarity and strength. The core idea is that you have a choice. The Stoics knew that we may not be able to control the initial reflexive splash of an emotion, the first flash of anger or fear, but we have absolute and total control over what happens next. We have the power to choose whether we will feed that initial reaction, fanning the ripples into a tidal wave, or whether we will choose to implement a state of inner stillness, allowing the ripples to naturally dissipate. This ancient wisdom feels alive because it reveals that our inner peace is not something that happens to us, but something that we can actively and powerfully choose in any moment. To begin cultivating this power, you must practice the art of the intentional calm. The first actionable step is the sacred pause. The moment you notice that your inner waters have been disturbed by a trigger, your first and only job is to pause. Do not speak. Do not act. Simply stop. The second step is to consciously turn your attention to your breath. Your breath is the great calmer of the mind. Take one slow, deliberate breath, focusing entirely on the physical sensation of the air entering and leaving your body. This is the act of choosing stillness. The third step is to allow the initial emotional energy to pass without judgment. See it as a weather pattern, a set of ripples that will naturally calm down if you simply stop throwing more stones into the pool. The benefits of applying these actions are the discovery of a superpower you never knew you had, the ability to command your own inner state. You will stop being a victim of your own emotional chain reactions. You will find that by choosing stillness, you can move from a state of chaotic reactivity to one of calm, centered clarity in a matter of moments. This is the very foundation of a wise and powerful life. The transformation you will experience in your life is one from being the chaotic splash to being the deep, still water. Your call to action is to practice the pause. For the next week, every single time you feel the splash of a strong emotional reaction, your only mission is to pause and take one single conscious breath. Do not worry about what comes next. Just master the art of choosing stillness first. This power of stillness gives you the crucial space you need to think. But what should you think about? The next lesson will teach you the most critical mental sort you can ever make. The art of distinguishing your chaotic feelings from the cold, hard facts. If you are ready to discover the power of your own stillness, please like this video. And as a final reader hook, remember to subscribe to the Stoic Power channel. Lesson 3. Distinguishing feelings from facts. Imagine you are a wise and impartial judge, presiding over a difficult court case. A passionate and emotional witness takes the stand. They are weeping, they are angry, and they are telling a dramatic and compelling story, filled with their own interpretations, fears, and accusations. This is your feeling. A foolish judge would be immediately swayed by this powerful testimony and would render a verdict based on it alone. But you are a Stoic judge. You listen to the emotional testimony with compassion, but then you turn to the other side of the courtroom, where the cold, hard, objective evidence is presented. The DNA, the fingerprints, the video footage. These are the facts. The third law of self-mastery is to be the wise judge of your own mind, to master the art of distinguishing feelings from facts. For many of us, we are in a state of constant inner conflict, where we are the foolish judge. When a strong feeling takes the stand in our minds, we believe its testimony without question. Our feeling is the fact. If we feel anxious, then the situation is threatening. If we feel angry, then we have been wronged. The problem with this fusion of feelings and facts is that it makes us a prisoner of our own subjective and often unreliable emotional testimony. Our feelings are not a direct readout of reality. They are a complex cocktail of our past experiences, our current mood, and our ingrained beliefs. They are the passionate, biased witness, not the objective evidence. To make life-altering decisions based solely on this testimony is a recipe for a life of chaos, misunderstanding, and profound regret. The transformative solution is to put on the robes of the wise judge. It is the Stoic habit of cross-examining your own feelings, of acknowledging their testimony, but refusing to render a verdict until you have first consulted the cold, hard, objective facts of the situation. The core idea is the very essence of the Stoic discipline of assent. The Stoics taught that we are constantly being bombarded by impressions, fantasiae, which are our initial, gut-level interpretations of events. These impressions are often loaded with emotion. The foolish person immediately assents to these impressions, believing them to be true. The wise person, the Stoic judge, pauses. He treats the initial impression as mere testimony, and he subjects it to the cross-examination of reason before he chooses to assent to it. He separates the feeling from the fact. This gentle wisdom feels ancient and alive because it is the fundamental principle of cognitive therapy and the very definition of a rational mind. To begin presiding over your own inner courtroom, you must become a master of cross-examination. The first actionable step is to acknowledge the feeling. You must allow the emotional witness to speak. Say to yourself, I am feeling a strong sense of anxiety right now. The second step is to seek the evidence. You must then ask the judge's question, and what are the objective, indisputable facts of this situation? Write down only the things that a camera could record. No interpretations, no stories. The third step is to compare the testimony to the evidence. Look at your powerful emotional story and then look at your short list of simple, objective facts. Does the evidence truly support the emotional testimony? Almost always, you will find that it does not. The benefits of applying these actions are the development of a profound and life-changing mental clarity. You will stop being a slave to your own emotional dramas. You will be able to navigate complex and emotionally charged situations with a new level of wisdom and effectiveness. Your confidence will soar as you will develop a deep trust in your own mind's ability to see the truth, even when your heart is in turmoil. Your call to action is to preside over your first case. The next time you feel a strong, negative emotion, take out a piece of paper and draw a line down the middle. On one side, write feelings testimony. On the other, write the facts. Fill out both sides. See the difference. This is the beginning of your training as a wise and impartial judge. Distinguishing feelings from facts gives you the clarity to see the right path. But to walk that path, especially when your emotions are pulling you in a different direction, requires a deep and powerful self-control. The next lesson will teach you how to cultivate this essential virtue. If you found this lesson valuable, please like this video, and as a final reader hook, remember to subscribe to the Stoic Power channel. Lesson 4. Cultivating emotional self-control. Imagine you are the master charioteer we have spoken of before, holding the reins to the two powerful horses of your emotions. We have discussed this metaphor, but now we must go deeper. Self-control is not just about stopping the horses when they bolt. It is a far more profound and subtle art. It is the daily, patient, and disciplined training that transforms the wild, reactive horses into a powerful, responsive, and perfectly synchronized team that can pull your chariot with grace and precision in any direction you choose. This is the fourth law of self-mastery, the active, daily cultivation of emotional self-control. For many of us, we are in a state of inner conflict where we only think about controlling our horses when they are already stampeding. We wait for the crisis, for the moment of intense anger or fear, and then we desperately try to yank on the reins, often with little success. The problem with this reactive approach to self-control is that it is almost always too little, too late. Emotional self-control is not an emergency brake you can pull in a crisis. It is a complex skill, a muscle that must be built slowly and consistently over time through daily training. If you have not been doing the daily work of training your horses, you will have absolutely no hope of controlling them when they are spooked by a real threat. This is a common and painful challenge that the reader faces. This leads to a life of feeling perpetually out of control, where our best intentions are constantly being sabotaged by our own untrained emotional responses. The transformative solution is to stop being a desperate passenger and to start being a disciplined, daily trainer. It is the Stoic habit of seeing emotional self-control not as an occasional act of willpower, but as a daily practice of small, disciplined choices that slowly but surely build the muscle of mastery. The core idea is that emotional self-control, like physical strength, is a product of training, ascesis. The Stoics were the original masters of this concept. They knew that a man who wishes to be calm in a crisis must first practice calmness in his daily life. A man who wishes to resist a great temptation must first practice resisting small ones. Your ability to handle the great tests of life is a direct result of the discipline you bring to the small, seemingly insignificant moments. This ancient wisdom feels alive because it gives us a clear and practical path to becoming the person we want to be. You do not become a master charioteer overnight. You become one by showing up at the training grounds every single day. To begin your daily training, you must become a patient teacher to your own soul. The first actionable step is to practice voluntary discomfort. Once a day, deliberately do something that is slightly uncomfortable but good for you. Take a cold shower. Do an extra set at the gym. Fast for a short period. Each time you choose a long-term benefit over a short-term comfort, you are training your horses to obey the reins of your will. The second step is to master your impulses. Practice the art of the pause, not just when you are angry, but in all things. Pause before you eat. Pause before you speak. Pause before you check your phone. Each small pause reinforces your position as the master. The third step is to keep your promises to yourself. Every time you do what you said you would do, you're building the crucial muscle of self-trust, which is the very foundation of self-control. The benefits of applying these actions are the forging of a truly powerful and resilient character. You will find that your ability to handle life's great challenges will improve dramatically because you have been training for them every single day in the small moments. Your confidence will become deep and authentic, rooted in the undeniable evidence of your own daily discipline. You become the master charioteer, your inner world a source of immense, directed power, not of chaos. Your call to action is to choose your training regimen. What is the one small daily act of discipline you will commit to for the next 7 days to begin training your horses? Will it be a cold shower? Will it be no complaining? Will it be meditating for 5 minutes? Choose your one discipline and begin your training tomorrow. This emotional self-control is your shield. But what happens when you must enter the arena of conflict? The next lesson will teach you the warrior's art of turning conflict from a destructive battle into a powerful opportunity for growth. If you're ready to begin your training, please like this video, and as a final reader hook, remember to subscribe to the Stoic Power channel. Lesson 5. Turning conflict into opportunity. Imagine you are an alchemist in an ancient laboratory. Your life's great work is to turn common, worthless lead into precious, brilliant gold. You do not see the lead as an enemy or a problem. You see it as the raw material, the necessary ingredient, the very opportunity for your great work. The conflict, the challenge of the transformation, is the entire point of your art. This is the fifth law of self-mastery, the art of turning the lead of conflict into the gold of opportunity. For many of us, when we are faced with conflict, a disagreement with a partner, a confrontation with a colleague, a challenge to our ideas, we are in a state of inner conflict where we see it as a purely negative and destructive event. We see it as a battle to be won or lost, a threat to our ego, a stressful and unpleasant ordeal to be avoided at all costs. The problem with this perspective is that it makes us either conflict avoidant or terribly unskilled in conflict. By seeing conflict as a threat, we either run from it, allowing small problems to fester into huge ones, or we engage in it with a clumsy, emotional aggression that only serves to create more damage. This is a common and painful challenge that people face. We miss the profound opportunity that is hidden within every disagreement. The opportunity to clarify our own beliefs, to strengthen a relationship through honesty, and to practice the very virtues we claim to value. The transformative solution is to become the alchemist of your own interactions. It is the Stoic habit of reframing conflict from a destructive battle into a creative opportunity. It is the understanding that the friction of disagreement is the very force that can polish our character and reveal a deeper truth. The core idea is the great Stoic maxim: the obstacle is the way. The Stoics taught that the universe sends us challenges not to break us, but to build us. A conflict is not an impediment to a virtuous life. It is the very gymnasium in which a virtuous life is trained. The person who is arguing with you is not your enemy. They are your sparring partner, a divinely sent opportunity to practice your patience, your clarity, your empathy, and your courage. This ancient wisdom is profoundly empowering because it transforms the most stressful parts of our lives into our greatest opportunities for growth. To begin practicing this mental alchemy, you must change your goal in any conflict. The first actionable step is to redefine winning. Your goal is no longer to win the argument. Your goal is to emerge from the conflict a slightly better, wiser, and more virtuous person. This is an outcome that is always within your control. The second step is to seek first to understand. Before you state your own position, make it your mission to understand the other person's perspective so well that you could argue it for them. This act of empathy is the universal solvent that dissolves hostility. The third step is to attack the problem, not the person. Frame the conflict as the two of you, united against a common problem, rather than as you versus them. The benefits of applying these actions are a complete transformation in your ability to handle difficult conversations. You will stop fearing conflict and start seeing it as a productive and even valuable part of life. You will strengthen your relationships through honesty, you will solve problems more effectively, and you will dramatically increase your own self-respect and the respect others have for you. You become the master alchemist, capable of turning the lead of any disagreement into the gold of wisdom and connection. Your call to action is to choose your laboratory. Identify one small, unresolved conflict in your life. Your mission is not to solve it, but to simply take out a journal and write down, from a place of pure curiosity, what you think the other person's perspective might be. Start by seeking to understand. Turning conflict into opportunity is how you handle the chaos of human interaction. But the ultimate expression of self-mastery is not just how you handle conflict, but how you handle all of life's moments. The next lesson will teach you how to respond to everything with a deep and purposeful wisdom. If you found this lesson valuable, please like this video, and as a final reader hook, remember to subscribe to the Stoic Power channel. Lesson 6. Responding with Purposeful Wisdom. Imagine you are the captain of a great ship, and your ultimate destination, your life's great purpose, is a distant, beautiful shore. You have a compass in your hand, which always points to your North Star, your core values and principles. Every single thing you do as captain, every turn of the rudder, every adjustment of the sails is a deliberate and purposeful response designed to move your ship one step closer to that ultimate destination. You are not just reacting to the wind and the waves, you are using them to guide you where you have chosen to go. This is the sixth law of self-mastery, responding with purposeful wisdom. Many of us, however, are in a state of inner conflict where we are the captain with no destination. We are adrift on the ocean of life, and our responses to its events are just random reactions to the immediate weather. We react to the wind from the east by turning west, and to the wind from the south by turning north, with no thought for our ultimate purpose. We are busy, but we are going nowhere. The problem with this lack of purpose is that it makes our lives feel chaotic, meaningless, and ultimately out of our control. If you do not have a higher purpose that is guiding your responses, then your responses will be dictated by the lowest parts of your nature, by your fear, by your anger, by your desire for pleasure and comfort. This is a common and painful challenge that people face. A life of purposeless reactions is a life where you are not the captain, but a mere passenger taken on a journey you never chose. The transformative solution is to become the purposeful captain. It is the Stoic habit of ensuring that every response you make to every event in your life is not just a reaction to the moment, but is a deliberate and wise action in service of your highest chosen purpose. The core idea is that a wise and fulfilling life, a state of eudaimonia, is a life lived with a clear telos, or ultimate aim. For the Stoics, this ultimate aim was a life of virtue. The wise person's every response is filtered through the question, what is the virtuous thing to do right now? They respond not to please their ego or to satisfy a fleeting emotion, but to be the person they have chosen to be. This gives their life a profound sense of coherence, integrity, and power. This gentle wisdom feels ancient and alive because it offers an antidote to the shallow, reactive, and often meaningless nature of modern life. To begin responding with this purposeful wisdom, you must first define your destination. The first actionable step is to clarify your purpose. As we have discussed before, you must be crystal clear on your own core values. This is your North Star. The second step is to use this compass for every response. When faced with a choice, a challenge, or an opportunity, you must pause and ask yourself, which response would be most in alignment with my core values? Which response will move my ship closer to its destination? The third step is to act with that purpose in mind. Your action is no longer a mere reaction. It is a deliberate step on your chosen path. The benefits of applying these actions are a profound and transformative sense of meaning and direction in your life. You will stop feeling like you are adrift and start feeling like you are on a great and important voyage. Your confidence will become deep and authentic, because your daily actions will be a direct reflection of your deepest principles. You will become a person of immense integrity and power, a captain who can be trusted to navigate any sea. Your call to action is to consult your compass. Look at one significant decision you need to make this week. Take out your list of core values. Your mission is to consciously make that decision based solely on which option is most in alignment with the person you have chosen to be. Let your purpose guide your hand. You have now learned to respond with purpose. The final lesson is about integrating all of this knowledge into a single, cohesive state of being. It is about achieving a life of profound and unshakable balance. If you are ready to take the helm of your own life, please like this video. And as a final reader hook, remember to subscribe to the Stoic Power channel. Lesson 7. Mastery through Stoic Balance. Imagine a master tightrope walker perfectly poised on a thin wire high above the ground. His mastery is not in a state of rigid, unmoving stillness. If he were perfectly rigid, a single gust of wind would send him toppling. His mastery is in a state of dynamic, perfect balance. He is constantly making thousands of tiny, almost invisible, micro-adjustments, responding to the subtle shifts in the wind and the wire with a fluid grace. His balance is not a static state, it is a continuous, masterful act of responding. This is the final law and the ultimate expression of emotional self-control. Mastery through Stoic balance. For our entire journey, we have been in an inner conflict, learning the individual components of self-mastery, the stillness, the clarity, the discipline. We have been learning how to stand, how to hold the balancing pole. But the final challenge is to put it all together and to walk the wire of life. The problem is that a collection of disconnected skills is not the same as true mastery. You can know all the rules, but if you cannot apply them with a fluid, intuitive grace in the dynamic, unpredictable moments of real life, then your knowledge is merely academic. The final challenge is to move from being the student who is consciously thinking about every step to being the master who walks the wire with an effortless and unconscious competence. The transformative solution is the final and most profound integration of all the previous lessons. It is to stop seeing these principles as a set of separate tools and to begin embodying them as a single, unified, and balanced way of being in the world. The core idea is the achievement of eudaimonia, the flourishing life that is the ultimate aim of all Stoic practice. The Stoic sage, the ideal of the philosophy, is the perfect tightrope walker. He is not a person who has eliminated emotion, but a person who has achieved a perfect balance between his feelings and his reason. He is not a person who has no problems, but a person who can respond to any problem with a perfect balance of acceptance and action. His mastery is not a rigid and brittle perfection, but a fluid, resilient, and dynamic state of balance. This ancient wisdom feels alive because it offers a vision of a human life that is not just about survival, but about a beautiful and masterful performance on the high wire of existence. To achieve this state of mastery is the work of a lifetime, but the practice is a daily commitment to balance. The first actionable step is to see your life as the practice. Every single moment of your day is an opportunity to practice your balance. Every conversation, every task, every challenge is the high wire. The second step is to practice the art of the middle way. In any situation, look for the balanced path between the extremes. The balance between talking and listening, the balance between work and rest, the balance between compassion and setting boundaries. The third step is to embrace the process. The master tightrope walker knows that he will never achieve a state of perfect, permanent stillness. The joy and the mastery are in the continuous, lifelong act of finding and refinding his balance, moment by moment. The benefits of applying this final law are the achievement of a life of profound grace, effectiveness, and peace. You will be free from the exhausting and clumsy lurching between emotional extremes. You will move through the world with a new sense of fluid power and effortless confidence. You will become a source of inspiration to others, a living testament to the beautiful art of a life well lived. Your final call to action is a commitment to the wire. Your mission, starting now, is to see your life not as a series of problems to be solved, but as a beautiful and challenging high wire to be walked. Embrace the challenge, find your balance, and enjoy the profound and exhilarating view from the top. By becoming aware of your reactions, by choosing stillness, by distinguishing feelings from facts, and by cultivating a life of disciplined, purposeful, and balanced responses, you achieve the ultimate freedom. You become the master of your own soul. The space between stimulus and response is your kingdom of power. By replacing impulsive reactions with conscious, stoic responses, you move from being a puppet of circumstance to the calm, wise sovereign of your own life. This is the true art of emotional mastery. Thank you for taking the time to watch the video. We gently remind viewers to like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel for more wisdom on building an indestructible life.